Oh, what a difference a day makes. Today's Friday. The winds have calmed down back to normal. I'm not going to say it was windy, but and as you can see that earlier clip, the difference of one day, and it was blowing so hard out here that I saw a video from some friends down by the dumpster. Took out of his video out of his rig and could not see the dumpster 100 feet away. It was just so much dust. And out here in the desert, some people took advantage of it, but also these mountains that you can see in the background over here, you could not see them yesterday. They were just a wall of dust. This whole area was just a dust bowl. I saw a lady taking advantage of the wind we had out here. The heaviest wind we had was Tuesday and Thursday, and Wednesday when I put my video out was probably the lightest day. But she was down the way and she had a Class A. She was using one of these new solar and wind clothes dryers. So she had her clothesline strung from, the back of the RV over to the top of a ATV. And it was almost like she was putting up the clothes here. And by the time she got to the other end, she can just come back and take them back off. That's about how fast they were drying out here. And one thing I noticed too, as I was walking around today, if anybody's looking for say, a really good awning or tarp or some kind of canopy or tent or something, walk around after a windstorm and see which ones are standing up. There are a few that were standing up, and most of them I saw were, if they hadn't been taken down, they were already destroyed. So, yeah, well, there's a few things. My tent survived. I had it tied to the tree and 5 big rocks in it, and it still moved probably about, I don't know, 8 feet away from where it was sitting, even with those rocks. I mean, they're this big. They're not little rocks. They're big rocks, and it moved all of the whole thing away. But that's the who's taking advantage of the wind. And I do want to say this from the bottom of my heart. My heart goes out to in the sympathy to the people of LA area who are suffering through these fires right now. It's a tragic loss. I know what they're going through. I've been through a very small part of that. And I can say that because back in 1976, when I was just a wee child, 17 years old, our house burned to the ground on December 21st of that year. So that's something that really, to me, is stuck in my mind. And I forget a lot of dates, but I can remember certain dates that etched their way into your brain, and that was one of them. And I think one of the reasons why it really hit because being a young 17-year-old, I was working, going to school. I bought my mom a place setting for, like, knives, forks, silverware set, spoons, a whole nice one. It was in a big box. It was in 1976. It was like 149.99 for this thing, and I spent my money, working as a teenager, and I bought that for her because we didn't have a whole lot. My dad was retired, military, so disabled, retired. We weren't collecting a lot of money, so we worked, and but to have that that special gift that I thought would be really nice go up in flames and melt down to a pile of mush. That kind of really hit. And the people in LA, I know what you're going through. To have all your possessions just wiped out in just a matter of minutes. Same with a tornado. But the thing with a tornado, you could find something. With the fire, there's nothing left hardly. It just fire is bad and it destroys everything. So my heart goes out to the people of LA and the families and all the firefighters and everybody else is working on this because from what I've seen, holy cow, those winds blowing at 80 to 100 miles an hour, there's no way you can get in there and try to slow that stuff down. it's just, I mean, it's terrible. It's a terrible. But you know, we're together. You know, we'll get over it. We'll come through. And everybody who has a tragedy like that, you'll have a place that will stay, you know, in your memory and in your heart, for as long as you're alive. Out for our afternoon walk. A lot of some time to work on something. There's Zen. So we're walking over here. And you probably recognize this place from earlier videos. We're going to attempt to see what I can do and see if we can clean this place up a bit. Just a brief background on things is this area that I'm in, I checked with the rangers at the gate, and the LTVA stops right over here at the wash, which is probably 15 feet away. And they said, this is BLM land. So they can't do anything with it because it's on BLM land. It's not in the LTVA. So they said you can contact the rangers or the BLM office or the sheriff and go from there. So yesterday or the day before, I found a ranger driving by, and I stopped him and I asked him, I said, hey, I got this lovely campsite over here that needs to be cleaned up. What can we do? He said, we'll put it on a list. He said, we've got so many right now, we can't keep up. We're shorthanded. We don't have the personnel. We don't have the money. We don't have this. And so we're putting them on a list. And when we get around to it, we'll get them cleaned up. So that's where this one sits at. So I'm going to attempt to just kind of clean up what I can, put it into some trash bags. I got my handy dandy gloves, and we're going to try to clean up a bit and see what I can find, or what I not find. Zen is over there resting in the shade. He's got a little hole dug already, so we'll get busy. And just to look around here, I mean, there's trash everywhere. It's not a lot of trash, but we'll look. And I do have access to a truck, but the problem is we're kind of back here in the ATV trails, and a truck would have to come through this area over here, which is the ATV trail, which probably truck can make it. My friend Alan said we can use his truck, but it's a Dodge Dually. A little bit wide for the ATV trails, and this area they were in, a lot of sharp rocks that are just sticking straight up, and I think he'll lose a tire or two. So what my plan is to go through here, and since there's trash, you know, over here there's some, there's over there's some. That's electrical. That's got electrical box and wood. I don't know what that's doing over here. But to go through here, pick up this stuff, go down in the wash, and pick up stuff that's blown over from the wind yesterday. And oh yeah, this tent, that canopy was standing up until yesterday. It's been there almost a year, and the wind took it down. That's how strong the wind was. But I just need to go around, and I'm going to pick up what I can and bag it up and set it over here in this area. So if we do get a truck or a ranger or some volunteers with some ATV access, you know, it'd be easier to pick up. But let's walk around here real fast and see what there is. I already know about the big tent and all this stuff here, and I'm sure there's nothing that I can use in here. Well, I did see her. What is this? Hey, I got a rake here, and there's another rake over inside I saw right in there. So I'll be using those to clean this place up. And what else? Oh, yeah. Who said you can't make money picking up trash? Look here. Found a quarter. I'll take it. But over here is the dog. Is the it's going to be the biggest part. This is where seems to be all the personal stuff is. Whoops, sorry about the camera. All the personal stuff is. So there's a lot of clothing and Looks like 3 bags of food. And how much clothes do a person need when they live out in the woods? Holy cow, that's an awful lot of clothes. And if we're going to find critters, yep, they're going to be in there. So my goal is not to find, hopefully don't find any scorpions, rattlesnakes, or tarantulas. So if we do, I don't know, you might hear a scream like a little girl here when I get through. I don't know. But the area that I want to work in is right there. And how I'm going to do it is, in order to pick up this stuff that you did not get stung, bit, or whatever, is you need to pick up from behind. So like this, I pick it up this way. That way when it comes up, any kind of creatures that are under there will be facing the opposite direction. So, and it is a time of year that rattlesnakes are really not out too much. Scorpions are out. I've heard reports of 1 or 2 already seen. And so we'll see. Tarantulas aren't bad. I have not seen one, but I'd like to see one. So we're going to start tackling the big upright stuff and then working on the rest of the garbage. And I mean garbage. First thing I want to try to get to is these canopy things, whatever they are, and tear them down. Zen, you be the guard dog. Is take this thing down. First of all, I got to figure what in the heck, how in the heck you do it. A, for one thing, it's broken. I don't know, this may be, I don't know. How in the heck do these things work? Anybody know? Oh, there we go. I think we got to push down. But I don't know, it's all out of kilter and stuff. I may just be dragging it over there one big chunk of piece. Anyway, I may be breaking this sucker apart. But we'll not bore you too much, and we'll get started on cleanup. Let me grab this stuff. And the problem is some of the stuff, like these tarps, are just so far deteriorated. There's nothing left of them. Get my rake out of the way. I'll use that. All right. Oh, it's going to be a bad job. All right, stay tuned, everybody. We'll see what happens. I can use this even back in my own camp. Be good for cleaning up rocks and filling up dog holes that keep getting dug out. So far as coming around, I found some old Chef Boyardee cans, which nasty looking. And so far, just 2 hypodermic needles. So I got to be careful with those. They are laying around here, so I'm going to be careful. All right, we're going to attempt this piece next. It's got highway signs and everything in it. So we'll see how that's anchored to the ground. All right, let me get myself busy here. Oh. Well, we got the first round picked up. If I can get a hold of these bags. I'm going to say somebody like Dollar General. There's a whole rack of Dollar General bags. I can use those around here. Found a lot of pictures, and somebody liked peanuts. 6 or 8 jars of peanuts. 3 or 4 of them are still unopened, but found a box of corn pops, unopened from 2023. So we got the biggest part of the main part done. We're going to work our way back towards this part now and see what I can do in this part. This is going to be, like I said, more of a challenge. So let me get started. So far, no critters. So that's good. That's good. Still here and still picking up. It's looking better. Maybe another half an hour or so, we'll get out of here. Well, there we have it. We got it picked up. Yeah, there we got it. We got it picked up as much as I'm going to do. I'm going to have some wind noise, so somewhere in here I lost my little dead rabbit fuzzy top on my microphone, but I am not going to try to find it. It's somewhere. So yeah, look at there. Picked up, cleaned up, and over here is the pile of stuff. Went down and picked it up off the bank below, but here is the entire camp right here. So it's ready to be picked up. If I can find some volunteers or a truck to come get it, it's all right there, nice and neatly stacked. Hopefully the wind doesn't blow too hard and distribute it all over. We're going to take this dog and we're going to go back to camp, fix us some dinner, wash our hands first for sure, fix us some dinner, and go from there. Yeah, we got everything. I got everything cleaned up. It took me about 2 hours, so it wasn't that bad. There's just a lot of personal stuff there because they just left, whoever was there left everything behind. There are pictures, family pictures, pet pictures, and the journal with, people's names and telephone numbers. And, I read just a page or a little bit of it and talk about, being a, this and that, etc. Evidently they may have worked at Dollar General because there were 2 or 3 more boxes of the planter peanuts. Boxes, just empty boxes. I did find a full empty box of the planter peanut floor display, so I figured they probably worked there. Anyway, that's been, like I said, vacant for probably about a year, so now it's cleaned up, and that's just the camp host in me because that's what I do all summer. Go around, pick up trash and stuff left over behind campsites and clean up the campgrounds and etc. So it's got to be done. It's got to be done, but it's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't things, because now that it's cleaned up, it looks a whole lot better, but the problem is someone else can come in and trash it back up again. Yeah, that's what it is. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Enjoyed the sunset here behind me, and we're getting ready to kind of calm down for the evening. We'll see you guys on around this BLM land.